What's up, nation? Can you guys let me know? Give me a 5x5 if you can see me. Got a huge guest backstage. Checking out to see who is in the house here. Welcome to Tombstone Tuesday. I guess I'm saying that right? Cat Lady Prepper, thank you very much. We're going to give it just a moment here to get the audio situated, apparently. There we go. Give it a minute or so here, guys, and then we're going to bring out my special guest tonight. You guys ever seen the movie Young Guns? Anybody? Young Guns, you know, got the Billy the Kid in it. Nisi Tribe, how you doing? Yes, Frank said, yeah. Love Young Guns. Well, here's the deal. In Young Guns, they're trying to catch Billy the Kid, and they just can't get him. They cannot get Billy the Kid, son. And so they have to go out and they have to hire a Pat Garrett in order to chase him down. So when I'm looking at Tombstone Tuesday, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, you know, Prepper Tribe, who goes on last tonight, he's basically the Billy the Kid of this whole situation. So I have to go out and I have to get my Pat Garrett. I have to go out and get somebody that knows how this man thinks, knows how he moves. Oh, I got a smoking gun here tonight, son. Quick shout out to David Lamb. Thank you for the coffee, son. And I was going to wear a cowboy hat, folks. Howdy, Forrest. I was going to wear a cowboy hat, but the guest that I have, I really don't need a gimmick. So here we go. I want to say thank you really quick to Gray Man and Grim Survival. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my guest tonight, Native and Devout Prepping. How you doing, sir?
What's up, nation?
What's
Surprise,
up?
Tribe.
Is Tribe in here? Somebody picked Tribe up off the floor. So you're bartending later for Prepper Tribe, is that right?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be over at the Tribal Saloon. I'm bartending for Prep Tribe.
What are y'all gonna be drinking over there, man?
I got some special brews. I'll show them when y'all come over there, man. I picked it up today. It's some good stuff.
That is awesome. I will be there. So tell me a little bit about your channel. Probably a lot of new people in here that this might be their first time seeing you.
We're just a homestead / prepping channel. We like to take whatever we have. You know, we don't have a lot of money, but we're scrappers. We find what we have. We take old stuff. We're working on a bug out cabin build right now. It used to be a playhouse that my kids played on, but they're all too big for it. 20 years old, but the wood's still good, and it was built solid. It's got like bolts holding everything together. So we took all the old wood off and we just left the frame, and we moved it to a spot. And it's going to be a bug out cabin for our mag. That way, when people show up, we have a place to put people up, and it already be set up.
That is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
If you folks have not went and followed him yet, please do it. You can find him Native and Devout Prepping. And if there are any mods in here that may not be, if you guys do not mind dropping a link, I think I see Nan in here. If you can find his channel and drop a link, much appreciated. That's actually Native. That's one of the things that I was watching your channel and I really liked about it. I was telling you before we came on is that you don't just focus on stacking new stuff and new gear, stuff like that, but it's more about use what you got. And I can totally understand, and a lot of the viewers tonight can relate to not being loaded, having, you know, just substantial money to spend.
Absolutely. I mean, man, my favorite store to prep at is Dollar General. They got all kinds of good prepping items, food. I mean, they got tools and tape and stuff, whatever you might need.
That's a skill, man. I'm telling you, that's a prepping skill all its own. If it hits the fan, people like you, man, that can use what you got, I think you're going to make it a lot longer than somebody that has all the brand new gear that may not know how to use it. Yeah. So tomorrow, man, the elephant in the room, what are your thoughts? First of all, what are your thoughts on the election, like the outcome of the election, the whole process?
The election
You
was
can go ahead
stolen.
and say it, man.
Okay, all right. The election was stolen, obviously. I've been watching elections. I think my first election I started paying attention to was Bill Clinton. And ever since then, I've watched every election, and they have never stopped counting the votes in the middle of the night, ever. And they stopped in all the swing states. What a coincidence. And then all the evidence that came out and the way the media suppressed it. I mean, it's obvious what happened. The election was stolen. That's why Americans are so upset, man. And how can we trust voting ever again? So yeah, that's my thoughts on the election.
That's very good. Yeah, I agree with that actually. Jersey Mike, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, brother. So yeah, the elephant in the room tomorrow. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen?
Well, I mean, a lot of folks have been asking me this, and I'm just tired of talking about it. But my thoughts on it are Trump may have an ace up his sleeve, but I don't think so. It don't appear that way. It looks like Biden's going to be inaugurated, but anything's game. There's just so much weird stuff going on, and it has been for the past year. And I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what's happened at this point. I'm tired of making theories on what President Trump's going to do because it gets your hopes up and then they're dashed. So I'm at the point where I just want tomorrow to be over so we know where to go from there. As preppers, it's just getting prepared. If Trump does anything though, I mean, it's going to cause major conflict. I mean, that's going to kick it off. And I don't know if the president wants to do that. I think he, and deep down, he does want to stand up, and do whatever he can to stay in office because he won. But at the same time, I think he realized a lot of people will get hurt. I think it bothered him on the 6th of what happened. I think it really did. And so, like I said, like whatever happens, I just want to know so I can stay focused. If Biden and Harris are president, I'm gonna have a certain plan. If Trump does something and he does something, he's president, I'm gonna have a certain plan. So I mean, that's kind of my point of view on it.
That's a great point actually. I mean, either way it goes, no matter what happens, we're going to be in a situation where we're going to be prepping for something or the other. What do you like? You don't have to get specific, but like, what route are you taking as far as the prepping goes? If Joe and Kamala do get in and it's seamless and they're in the White House, as
Right.
opposed to Trump having an ace up his sleeve.
Um, Me and Deval and my wife and other people in the mag, we've been kind of trying to game all this stuff out. The worst case scenario. I mean, hope for the best, but man, prepare for the very absolute worst thing you can think about, just so you're prepared.
Mhm.
So what we're working on, I mean, we're pretty good on food preps, just on just stacking food, and there's 4 wells on our property, so we're good on water. Um, we're all pretty good, on QQs and freedom seeds. I mean, so I think what we're focusing on the most is self sustainability. For our live food preps, we're trying to increase that as much as we can. Because in an SHTF, you're not going to be able just to go, down the road to a market or go to Tractor Supply or Royal King or whatever, and, pick up some biggies or whatever anymore. So I'm trying to learn how to take my chickens and give them what they need so they can lay eggs and the hens can hatch them and the beauties come up, and have that sustainability. We added pigs this year and we're learning about them. Our sow is pregnant, so we're excited about that. And just anything I can do. I mean, we're trying to get our greenhouses at full capacity. I'm picking the brains of other preppers and homesteaders who are really strong on greenhouses and growing indoors. We're trying to we have a grow light in the kitchen now, and that's something we've never done. That's a new prep for us. And I'm just trying to think of any tiny little thing that we can add to our preps that'll give us more time, that will give us an advantage. Anything I can think of.
That's awesome. Marie, thank you for the super chat. And you need to run for president, by the way, Marie. I'm glad to see you back here. You were a total hit the other night. Thank you very much for that. Run for president. She says to look out for National Truckers Strike. Um, and then also Northern
Wow.
Girl Hobbies. Welcome to the coffee club. Thank you for giving to charity.
What's
So
up,
yeah,
Northern Girl?
there are 457 people in the stream right now. If you guys haven't done so, please go give this man a quick follow. Okay. Native and Devout Prepper. You know, rather than pushing the thumbs up for me, go give this man a follow. He deserves it. Okay. We're actually starting to see some. I've been getting some emails, Native, from people that have went into Walmart and I believe Kroger's, and they've said that their purchase got rejected because they were trying to buy, I think it was over $485 worth of food, and they're just turning them down. Yeah, they're cutting them off at 485. So what you were talking about, you know, it not being on the shelf, some people are already running into, I guess, availability.
Absolutely.
So that's a
And I
great
mean,
point.
I've looked. Have you ever looked into the supply chains for the different stores? Like you got Walmart, Target, and then like the smaller stores like Dollar General, like places like Walgreens, CVS. Their supply chains are a bit different, and so some stores will be stocked to the gills with stuff, and others, like you said, the shelves are empty. Like Walmart's like that. The shelves are just getting empty and stuff, and certain name brands are going away. But like I said, like I mentioned, Dollar General. So I love Dollar General because you can be in a 10-mile radius, and there's $5 Generals, and they're all
Yeah,
stocked with stuff. Because you
same
just
thing
don't think
here.
that. Yeah, go check them out, guys. Dollar General, if they're in your area, or Family Dollar is the same way.
And what I've noticed is like the smaller chain, like the local grocery stores right now, they're stocked up still, but the prices are much higher than they were, you know, 6 months ago. And the
Oh
Walmarts are
man,
pretty bare
yes sir.
in this area. Abigail Cook, thank you very much for that super chat, ma'am. So you got a half a day, potentially a half a day left of freedom
Right.
before we get, you know, Harris and Biden. How are
Exactly.
you spending the last half day? I know you're prepping probably, but you know, what are you concentrating on as far as prepping?
Um, in the last half day. Well, I mean, I'm after work tomorrow, so I'm gonna be in Wilmington tomorrow while this is going down. I hate it. But I mean, what I do, I just didn't want to quit because there's people depending on me to do what I do. But I always stop when I'm on the road. Like I'll find somewhere and I'll stop and I'll get something. You know, if I just spend $10. Domestic Gangster had a cool little series where she's going to all these different stores and she's taking $10 and showing what you could prep for $10. It's a really good series, and she's right. There's a lot of stuff you can get if you go to the right place for $10. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm kind of following that example. Whenever I stop, so if I'm at the gas station, you know, and I stop to get a drink or something, you know, I'll go over to like where they have like the tools and the tape and stuff, and I'll just get a roll of tape and just throw it in there, throw it in the van. But yeah, for this half day, I mean, I'm just focusing on getting home as fast as I can because we don't know what's going to happen. That's what's so crazy about this. This is inauguration, and we have no clue what's going to happen. You know,
None. Still don't
I
have
mean,
any
it could
closure.
be
There's
worst
domestic
case
gangster
scenario.
right now. She's in the chat right now. She said, "Thanks, Native. $10 a week."
What's up, Steve? Yeah, that was a good idea. I'm glad she did that series because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people ask. I've heard new preppers have asked me, what do I prep? What do I do? I was like, you know, start with food, start with water. Just start every month, man. Figure out what do you eat the most. Get if you eat rice, we eat about 5 pounds of rice a month, and so I doubled that and tried to get enough to where we had 12 months of rice, and then I went to the next thing, you know, beans, and then the next thing, canned meats. Then I started stocking the freezer. I mean, you're not gonna be able to just get a year of food unless you're rich right
Yeah,
away. If you're
yeah,
new to prepping, you know, just get the basics. Give yourself a month. Start with a month. Give yourself a month. At least you got a month. Something happens tomorrow and you have a month of food. At least you have a month to prepare, to find other folks to work with, to find community. And once you get a month, bump it up. Go 2 months, then 3 months, then 6 months. You'll get there. And watch all these awesome channels out there, man. I learned so much from other prepper channels. My prepping skills have risen so much this year just because of watching other people. I learned so much from you guys.
I appreciate that, man. You were talking about your job. Are they pushing the vax on you at all?
No, oddly enough, I mean, I work in the medical field, but it's a private company. It's a medical technology company, And our boss, I mean, he's a good man. He's a good Christian man, and Trump supporter. I think everyone in our company voted for President Trump, and so he would never push that on us. I haven't asked him about it, but he's not getting it. You know, he's in the 60s. So,
That's
and
the
if they
thing,
did,
man.
I mean,
Like, do what?
I was just say even if he did for whatever reason, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I love you, I gotta go. You know, I'd have to quit.
Yeah,
I don't
I'd be
want
the
to. I
same
love
way.
what I do, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing, man. You were talking about, everybody you work with, pretty much being a Trump fan. And it's the same thing where I'm at. Now, I'm not, of course, coast to coast, but watching the town halls and Biden drawing like a high school gym full of people or whatever, I find it really odd that he was able to pull together the votes to win a national election. You know what I mean? You take a look at the two rallies and it's
exactly,
unbelievable. But you were
exactly.
talking about prepping a little bit at a time. That was actually the hardest part for me when I first got into it, man. It was like I had to have all the gear. I had to, when I spent way too much money early on.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part for you?
The hardest part for me is that I never feeling like I have enough. And every time, like I say, every time I watch someone else's channel, I was like, dang it, now I need that. I was watching one of POTB's goats one day. I was on the road, and it was about what if an EMP happens where you are right now? How would you get home? You know, and I was like, man, I was like, why EMP? I was 100 miles from home. So if the EMP hits and my van breaks down, I'd have to walk home from there. And so I changed my bug out bag. My or I call it my go bag. It's with me every day, and I change it constantly because I never feel like I have everything I need. And I mean, I fall into that too about the gadgets and stuff, and trying out new stuff. I guess you have to do that. The thing with me is you got to try it out. Like you can get the latest gadget, but when the stuff happens, if you've never used it, I mean, you put yourself in danger.
Yeah. I always I tell people, here locally and stuff, if they've got like a Sawyer Mini and it's still in the packaging and it hits the fan and they have to turn it around and read the back, they're probably already dead. At that point,
Yeah,
if
I
they
know.
haven't tried anything, I mean, it's too late.
Yes.
Gray Man Prepping, thank you. Can I be your Huckleberry, John? No, man, I got a hired gun up in here tonight. Keep y'all trolls off. What kind of advice would you give to new preppers, man? Just getting into it.
My advice is once you get into prepping, is to immediately start building your community, man. 'Cause no matter what happens, you need people. I don't care how prepared you are. I don't care if you got $1 million bunker and you've got 10 years food supply. Eventually, someone's going to stumble upon you. You're going to make a mistake, and you're going to be all alone. There's going to be a bunch of marauders, or just a family in desperate need. And I think the most dangerous people in a shift is going to be like a mother and father trying to feed their kids, and they find
Yeah.
out you have stuff, and they're going to ask you for it, and you're going to say no, I'm sorry, and then they're going to come back later. Because desperation, and I've seen it on people. I've seen what desperate people would do. And it's not pretty, and it's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not going to be an adventure, guys. So yeah, that's my advice is form a mag or just get to know your neighbors. Find out who your neighbors are. They could be good people, they could be bad people. You could have a neighbor who's, kind of a jerk. But when the shit hits the fan, maybe he's prepared and maybe he's looking for community too, even though he's a jerk, maybe he'll help you. You don't know. You gotta talk to people. I mean, be careful, but you just need to know who's around you anyway.
We're gonna have to stick together, man. Hutch Homestead's up in here.
What's up, huh?
And yeah, he said he's trying to get Grim to troll me. He said if Grim trolls me, he'll troll you. Hutch's gonna troll you, man. So all right,
Bring on.
so enough softball questions here. Here's a really good question. Okay, Nancy Pelosi, of course you know who I'm talking about. Would you
Skeletor.
rather have her as a president or a lover?
God.
I know it's tough, man.
You know what? I mean, I wouldn't do that to America. So I would take one for the team.
That in itself, guys, is enough for you to go over there and subscribe to him. I'm telling you right now. If he's willing to do that for you, man, he deserves. You guys hit a little button on a TV screen there. Do you think there will be any states that try to secede, like Texas, etc.,
I do
assuming
actually.
Biden gets in?
I do actually. I think if it gets so bad, I mean, Texas is already they're already talking about it in their state legislation. So I mean, everyone looks at Texas, and I mean, I think what happened. I think other states would follow suit. I often wonder what the Carolinas would do. I mean, and I also think it depends on who's the governor and who's controlling the state legislation. Like even like in Florida, they're trying to pass these weird gun control laws in Florida, and the state legislation. They're like, no, we're not having that. But I mean, but look what they did in Georgia. I mean, Georgia was like ruby red, and
Yeah.
now it's turning blue.
It's
And
spread,
I don't
man.
know, yeah, I don't know if this is just the Dominion disease spreading and stealing all our elections, or what's happening. Or if people are just so deceived by the mainstream media, just living in that bubble of lies, man.
Unplug from it, right?
Absolutely.
Um, I don't know that either one of them, is for certain. But if you had to pick one that was for certain, do you think we'd be headed for civil war or revolution in this country?
I mean, I used to say civil war, but at this point, I mean, it's more towards revolution. And it's sad is that the people who are voting are those who love the Constitution and freedom. That's all we want. We just want to be free. Just let us live our lives. Just let us go about our day. Let us be prosperous. Stop trying to put us under your thumb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do lean towards revolution, and I hate to say that word.
No, I mean I agree at this point. I originally thought it was going to be Civil War too. Um, but yeah, I mean, like you said, we just want to be free, man. We're trying to pay taxes. We're trying to work like they tell us to work, pay taxes. Just leave
Right.
us alone. Let us live by according to the Constitution, and they can't do it. Um, so does Andrew at Prepping for Life? Do you think he drinks Zima?
Oh, AJ?
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
for sure. All right.
What's
I
up,
almost
AJ? I
put
love you,
Zima
brother.
tramp stamp, but that was like, nah.
I tell you what, AJ turned me on to neck tattoos, man.
Neck
You seen it?
tattoos.
Yeah, his 2A tattoo. That thing is awesome. That's
Yeah,
how
it
you
is.
support the Second Amendment right there.
What about the refugees? You seen the reports where the refugees are coming up to the southern border, I think. What are
Oh
your
man, they
thoughts on
can't
that?
wait. They can't
Can't
freaking
wait.
wait for Biden to get in. They're already talking about opening up holes so they can get through, and he's going to legalize 11 million of them. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
11 million just like that. Yeah, you're a citizen now. I don't understand the move except that they're trying to rebuild the base, their Democratic base that they lost. Trump took a lot of the minority vote because minorities are waking up to the Democratic plantation model. I mean, we got our inner cities, which have been Democratic ruled for decades, and they're constantly more and more impoverished. And minority folks are waking up to that crap and saying, "You guys aren't really for us at all. We're leaving you." And so I think they're trying to rebuild their base by letting all these refugees in and giving them citizenship so they can vote.
They're going to end up solving the refugee problem, I think, here in about a year because America's going to be in such bad shape. Nobody's going to want to come here. People are going to be
Yeah.
trying to get out, I think.
Yes, I know. We're all going to be refugees. We're all going to be fleeing to the free Republic of Texas.
Huge thank you to the moderators. And if you folks have questions for Native here, put them in all caps, please. And Zimas are awesome, James Davis. I don't know about that, man. Tennessee Tactical said, look at those Democratic cities. I think, with Biden and Harris, personally, I think they want the United States to look like a Democratic city. But the problem is they live in their gated communities. They don't have to look at the
Right.
problems.
Yeah.
Where is Native from? Tech T says.
I was originally born in Robinson County, North Carolina. It's like the largest concentration of Native Americans in the country. But I live in South Carolina now, right across the border.
Cat Lady Prepper, Native, what made you want to become a prepper?
When I was overseas, I just noticed what happens when society falls. And I mean, I'm not talking about the conflict and the fighting. I'm talking about the average everyday people who are suffering. Like we would go through these villages, and the people would be starving. There's no infrastructure. There's no government. There's no police. You know, there's nothing. And the citizens were struggling. They were killing each other for food. I mean, you see little kids starving and stuff. And I just really started to think about it. You know, I've always been a big science fiction fan, and I've always read apocalyptic novels and stuff. And it just got me thinking, you know, what if that happened in America? You know, what if that happened to us? Or, you know, what if there was a natural disaster? I never thought that America, the republic, would crumble the way it has, but I just thought maybe there would be some natural disaster or something that would break up our infrastructure. And so I just said maybe I should start prepping. You know, I just felt when I come home, that's what I want to do. I wanted to be ready in case anything happened. I mean, you know, where we live in the Carolinas, you know, we get hurricanes all the time. I mean, our electricity will get knocked out for 2 weeks at a time sometimes. And the prep is not only about the end of the world; it's just about being prepared for whatever.
Domestic Gangsta asks, do they even make Zima anymore? I guess you found out you're going to be the bartender over at Tribes tonight, and you'd be the
I'm gonna
man to
find
ask.
some domestic gangster. I don't like it because it hurts my stomach.
Man, this coffee's good, but I got to be honest, my stomach started to sour when you were talking about taking one for the team and taking Pelosi as a lover. Um,
uh,
let me see here. Arkansas living. What do your feathers smell like?
Art, they smell like a petunia. Arkansas is supposed to send me some owl feathers.
Yeah, let's see what's going to have to happen now when we leave here and we go to AJ's and then we go over to Tribes. We're going to have to troll them
Definitely.
here and there a
All
little
about
bit.
Zima.
Yeah. Let me see here. Going Gray said, "What's your favorite apocalyptic novel?"
There's a series by Thomas A. Watson. It's called Forgotten, Forbidden America. And that right now is my favorite one. It's still ongoing. He just dropped book 6, I think, in November. It's amazing the parallels between what's going on in our country now and what happens in that book, the way that America crumbles, and it's up to just people like us, man, just people who believe in the Constitution, people who believe in freedom to stand up. And the characters are great in it. Um, a close second, I would have to say, is the same series that Grimm recommended. Because I'm reading it too. They're on book 8, and he's expanded his universe into 3 different book series, and they all cross over and stuff. I recommend it too. It's Franklin Horton's The Borrowed World. Um, if you're a prepper, and I like those books because, in a way, it's prepper porn too. Because imagine if you had been prepping, you know, for decades, and your mag was already set, and you already had the best bug out location, whatever. And the guy works at an outfitter store. He's like the manager. So when the SHTF happens, he's at work, and his boss tells him, the corporate guy's like, "Look, just take all the guns and ammo to your place and just lock them up and take care of them." He's like, "Oh yeah, I will." And so it's like prepper porn. It's like, and you learn stuff too from them, like the things they set up, the way they set up their mag, the way they do security. I mean, it's just a lot of good scenarios. I think it's good for preppers and homesteaders and all us folks, you know, just to read and think about.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a boss just to hand you tons of guns and say, "Here, take these home"? You
That's
know?
why I said prepper form. So I don't think that would happen, but
No. Somebody asked Native, "What is the best thing in your bug out bag?"
the best thing in my bug out bag, my compass.
Compass. Good answer. Cherokee Survival. Do you think Bill Gates is, I guess, trying to end farming? Is what they mean here?
Yeah, that's a good question, James. Um, I think Bill Gates has an idea of how that the world should work, and I think he's got his finger on a bunch of stuff. Like all this, like the Pfizer, the guys who made the main vaccine, he's one of the main shareholders of that company, and he's all about vaccinating people and stuff. And he's all about population control, and one way to control the population is by controlling the food supply. I don't think he wants to end it. I think he wants to control the supply of it.
Anything to make money, right?
Yeah, there you go.
This
Like you
isn't
don't
really
have
a
enough.
question, but I'm going to say it anyway. Fighting Ducks just says weed will be the new gold in 2021. I don't know if they're asking that or what. Uh,
It's
I think
definitely
it's
going to
going to be
be
ammo.
a high dollar barter item, that's for sure.
Jose says any communications recommendations.
You know what, brother? Comms is something that we're weak here on the homestead, and that's what we've been focusing on. I've been talking about that a lot. We just got our first bow phone. I watched Grimm's video on the bow phone, all his instructional video. I've rewatched it twice because I'm trying to learn, and it's because it's kind of complicated. But I recommend it. Well, if I brought it, I thought I said it out. I didn't. But it's like this tiny, man. It's like a little thing, lightweight, and you get an antenna as long as you want. I mean, I'm finding out all kinds of cool stuff on 'em. But I recommend get you a bow phone. They're $25.
Prepping outside the box. What is your most valuable learned skill for a bad SHTF?
That's a good question. Josh always coming with the questions. All right, so my best learned skill for an SHTF. I would just say, I mean, I guess I would have to just say that I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I like building stuff and making stuff, and I'm really good. I've gotten really good at taking something apart and seeing what makes it, go, and then figuring out a way to take that component and use it in a way that it works on the homestead. Um, and a lot of our videos, I mean, you can see our igloo. It's what we call our central greenhouse where we do our seedlings and stuff. And I mean, that's all scrap stuff that we put together, and it's man, we love it in there. So I would say becoming a jack of all trades, learn plumbing, learn electricity, learn solar, learn cooking, learn gardening, learning to be a jack of all trades, just learning how things work, learning how to take a manual and just look at it and read it and understand. I'd have to say that's it. Just I don't know what to call it except being a jack of all trades.
Northern Girl Hobbies asks, what's your fishing like? Can you fish?
Northern girl, I'm not answering that because you hadn't caught a fish yet. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's across the road. There's another homesteader group. Like they're not a part of our mag or anything, but they're our neighbors and they're good people. We met them about 10 years ago. One of their horses got out and came across the road and was in our woods, and they were looking for it. And scared the crap out of me. I was walking in the woods one day, and I kept seeing these hoof prints, and then there was a big pile of horse hockey, and I looked up, and the horse had been looking at me for like 10 minutes. Scared the crap out of me. But on their property is a system of these beaver ponds. There's like 15 beaver ponds that run all the way down through across the road, and but yeah, there's all kinds of fish in there. There's like catfish, bluegill, sunfish, bass, and I mean, and they're cool people. And they, if you know them and you ask permission, they'll let us fish. So I'm working on a fishing video, Northern Girl. Don't even ask.
Don't even go there. He said. Elusive Prepper says, do you have any kind of tracking skills whatsoever?
That's a good question. Yeah, somewhat. My dad is the big hunter in our family, and I mean he raised us doing that. And gosh, I could tell you stories. This the way this man would just take us into the wilderness. He wouldn't have a map. He wouldn't have a compass, and he would take us in the middle. I wouldn't be paying attention. I was a kid, and we'd just be in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the wilderness. All right, son, let's go. You gotta take us back. Like what? And I would fumble around, and he would just begin to show me, how to read the land when you move through it. He would show me how to find landmarks and stuff, like find the tallest trees you could see, and he would show me weird trees that you could see, and and also I hate to say it, but human trash can be a landmark. it's sad to say, but wherever you go in the world, there's human trash. And I mean, just noticing landmarks and stuff, learning to understand the different tracks. And one thing I learned from him was learning to understand smells in the woods. And he can smell a doe in heat and go to where she's hiding in some thicket or something. And I'm not quite that adept, but yeah, I got a little bit. You know, I'm no what's his name, Daryl on Walking Dead, not
Oh
by a
yeah,
long
yeah.
shot.
Grim survival. Can I come fishing with you? Before you answer this, just understand that Grim has this fantasy where he just wants to take somebody up on a mountain. He wants to cosplay. I don't remember the name of the movie, Grim, but it's about two cowboys that fall in love or something. I don't know what his infatuation is with this, but just know this before you answer. He wants to know if he can go fishing with you.
All right, as long as we don't go to Brokeback Lake.
Nothing broke back, Grim. If you start to get a backache, Grim, he's leaving you.
Appreciate you, Grim. King Gremlin. Matt
Somebody
McConaughey.
posted Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, I know what it's called. I was just joking about that. Just trolling him.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Gray Man Prepping, Native, what was your military occupational skill in the Army?
I was a scout. It's 19 Delta, just forward reconnaissance. I went to air assault school and got into being got into a Pathfinder unit with the First Armored Division. So what we would do is just whatever theater we were working in, we would be like the forward element, trying to find the best supply lines for the rest of the troops to move forward. Um, we try to set up OP like observation points. We try to find out what the enemy's doing. We try to find out what the locals are doing. Try to find the best places of ingress and egress, stuff like that.
So this is a question actually from me. You said you lived in South Carolina. If you had to pick a different state to bug out in, which state would that be and why?
I would say it'd be a toss up between Montana and Texas. Um, Texas, just because I mean, their whole outlook on we're going to be free, we're going to be us. You know, you steal our election, we'll freaking succeed. We don't care. Montana, because of its remoteness and just because of the population there is so small. And I forget where it was. There's an article I was reading about Montana about how people are just fleeing there and going to big cities, and the people who stay are like they're glad. And the homesteading scene there seems to be pretty cool. Land's really cheap, and I prefer cold weather to hot weather.
Yeah. Apparently there's a bunch of Montana fans in here.
What's up, Montana? Love y'all.
What's up, Montana? Do you think Texas is going to eventually turn blue? We were talking about it earlier, spreading.
I mean, the larger cities is trying to, and they got all these Californians and New Yorkers moving there. I mean, and a lot of folks in Texas like, look, if you're coming here, just remember the states you fled from. Don't vote for those same things here. But it looks like it. I don't think it will. I think a lot of it is just the media trying to make us believe that Texas could turn blue or purple or whatever it is. But the larger cities, I've always had a problem. I don't like big cities, and I know a lot of folks do, and I don't want to offend nobody. But it just seems like a failed model. The whole metropolitan area with millions of people living on top of each other, and the rest of the country has to supply you. And one large city in a state, the whole surrounding state could be ruby red. But if that one large city is blue, then they decide that the state is blue because of the way they vote. I mean, I think that's a flaw in our system, and I think we should figure out something better.
Hate to ask you, man, but what are your thoughts on Mike Pence at this point?
I think Mike Pence saw. I think he was in there with the president for as long as he could be, and I think towards the end he saw what was coming down the pipes, and I think it scared him. And I think I think he's a career politician. President Trump's President Trump. He's going to go on and do whatever he wants. He don't care about being a politician. But Mike Pence is a politician. He's going to be there. He's going to stay. He's going to do something. He's going to be a senator. He's going to go back being a governor. I don't know. So I mean, I'm not giving him a pass. I know everyone's like he stabbed the president in the back and all this stuff, and maybe. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, that's the way it looks, but we don't really know what's going on. I mean, we got to think they're human beings too. They're people too. He has a family. He has kids. He has grandkids. You know, you have to think about stuff like that too. I bet they get death threats all the time. And you know, as a father myself, I would do what was best for my family. You know, who cares what everyone else thinks?
All right, guys, if you can put your questions in all caps and Tribes in here, he wants to remind us that in 20 minutes, Prepping for Life is going to be following up with Tombstone Tuesday. Oh, we know it, son. We're going to be over there trolling. Turnabout is fair play, man. So kind of a long question here, but if you had been in President Trump's shoes the last year of the presidency, what would you have done differently?
For one thing, I would have made sure that daggone mail-in voting thing didn't happen. I would have did everything in my power, executive orders, whatever it is. Also, if I was him, I would have gotten on Parler years ago. I think if he would have done that, he could have really combated like all the suppression on Twitter and all that stuff. The way they suppressed the whole Hunter Biden story, man, that was a smoking gun. And the way it was suppressed and kept out of the media, it was criminal.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I would have doubled down and went all in. Who cares what the media says? I would have did what I could have did, you know, while I was in. I would have pardoned Julian Assange. For one thing, the man was a patriot. He didn't do anything wrong, and he's been in prison for almost a decade. You know, the guy from WikiLeaks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Go look it up, man. It's freaking ridiculous. All he was trying to do was get the truth out to the American people, you know, which President Obama didn't like. And so he locked him up for it. I think he should pardon Snowden too. You know, a lot of people are controversial on that, but he found out the NSA was recording the American people's private phone conversations, and there was a huge database at the NSA with our private conversations on it. Why are you collecting all this data on us? And they were colluding with Google and Facebook and getting data from them too. They were buying data from these tech companies, and he blew the whistle on them. You know, and they were going to lock him up, so he had to freaking flee to Russia. And the guy's still living there with his wife in Russia. He can't come over here; they'll lock him up.
Makes you wonder what else they're doing, you know, behind the scenes that they hadn't got caught doing yet, you know.
Exactly.
Trust in God. Did AOC train you as a bartender?
Freaking Trust. He's my favorite troll. Love you, Trust.
Tennessee
AOC, man, don't mention
Tactical.
her to me.
Do what?
I said, don't mention AOC to me. I despise
I'm
her.
not a fan of AOC. Tennessee Tactical. How do I find a mag?
I mean, I mean, I'm sure there are groups, brother, but my recommendation is start small, man. Start with someone that you know, a friend, a brother, a family member. Most mags start, they're just family members, you know. Just talk to them. If you there's a friend you have who preps also, you know, or who someone is a survivalist, you just got to start small. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't recommend going in a mag that's already formed if you don't know the people, you know, because some mags out there. I know there's some big ones out there, like a couple of hundred people. You know, they've been together for a long time. I mean, if they're good people, you know, whatever. But like I say, I would start small. I would start with people that you know, people that are maybe close to you.
Klinger, thank you very much for the super chat. She put sending prayers for the whole nation, family, for tomorrow and the next 4 years.
Amen. We need it.
We're definitely going to need it. Lance Webb, thank you again, Klinger. Lance Webb, China bought the left out. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. China's president is supposed to be inaugurated tomorrow. He's totally in it for China. Biden's an empty suit. That's all he is. He was sold out to China during when he was vice president. I mean, I believe that they've had what is it, 20 years? They've had like spies here. What's that lady's name? When she was the mayor of San Francisco, Dianne Feinstein. One of
Yeah.
her top aides was a Chinese spy, and he worked for her for 20 years. I ain't gonna mention Fang Fang. We all know about that. I mean, it's ridiculous. They've been stealing our technological secrets. and our manufacturing secrets for decades. I mean, China's already here. They're already in. They already have agents in our country, and now they have people at the top level of our government.
Yeah. I think that's the most mind-blowing part for me is we see this stuff going on with our own eyes. You know what I mean? But then when you turn the news on, you get a totally different story. Or they'll, like you said, with the hunter stuff, they'll totally suppress it.
Yeah, it's infuriating.
Let me see here. All right. So if you could pick 5 things, only 5 things, man, to bug out with, what would they be?
Can my bug out bag be one thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my bug out bag then. Um, how do I say this? My rifle, my pew pew, and my sidearm. Let's see, is that 3?
Yeah.
All right, so my bug out bag, my rifle. I'm probably pretty good. I got everything I need in my bug out bag. Let me think. Oh yeah, my seed stores. I would take those with me. Like wherever I wind up with, we could grow our own food. And my I just got a new book. It's called 101 Deadly Skills. It was written by I think it was an ex-Navy SEAL. Um, yeah, Heartland
No.
Survival
Somebody
Center.
said you better say your wife.
Well, that goes without saying. I didn't think I'd have to name her on the list.
Seriously?
Oh, gosh, she's here. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, definitely my wife, number 1, of course. Is that 5? Did I finish? I get it.
Yeah, you're good, man. As long as the wife's in there.
Yeah, there you
What are
go.
your favorite rifles and sidearms?
I mean, I'm an AR guy. I mean, just cause that's what I trusted, and I'm familiar with it. And it's just there's so much muscle memory breaking that thing down and putting it back together. Without even looking at it. I mean, I wouldn't go anywhere without it. So yeah, but pistols. I mean, I like Glocks. I don't have a Glock, but I like them. I have a SD9. It's a kind of a little known platform because I guess it's like Smith and Wesson's cheap version of the Glock. I love it. It's a good pistol. I also like revolvers just as a backup weapon. You know, let's see, shotguns. We have just every kind of caliber of shotgun that you can think, except for a 28 gauge. That's a new one. I've never seen that until the past year or so. I don't know if anyone has a 28 gauge and what's the deal with it. Why is it out there all of a sudden?
What's the ammo situation look like where you're at in South Carolina, man?
It's horrible. That's why I mentioned the 28 gauge because I was looking for some all this week. Everywhere I went, there was 28 gauge. I was like, man, who has a 28 gauge shotgun, and where do you buy them? Because I'll get one because that's all the ammo you can get.
Yeah.
But there's a few little outfitter shops that I stop at across the state of North Carolina and check in because every once in a while they'll get like a little dump. I don't know where they're getting this ammo from, if they're pulling it from their private reserves. I stopped at one today. I mean, they had 308 blackout. They had a little bit of 223. They had a lot of 7.62. I just don't have anything that shoots that. But yeah,
I think they try and troll us at my local because we really don't have that many gun shops around. We have Rural King; they have a huge, gun barn or whatever. I think they've been trolling us though, man, because where they normally have the ammo, they still have some 12 gauge. It's limited, I think, 1 box per customer, and then they've hung slingshots up like wrist rockets. Like, are y'all kidding me, man?
Yeah,
Nothing
I know,
against
right?
wrist rockets, but I ain't here for that.
I know. Good gracious. What's
Cling
your thought
or
on?
do what?
I'm sorry. I was just saying, what's your thought on getting birdshot? Because pretty much when you go, there's just birdshot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a shotgun. If I had
Oh,
a
okay.
shotgun, I would be stockpiling it. But
Yeah.
I've actually thought about going out and getting a cheaper 12 gauge or something.
Right.
Now the rifles and stuff we have all day long, and they're pretty cheap, like ARs, the cheaper makes and stuff. But you
Right.
can't find the ammo. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
So I mean, they're just taunting you with it.
Yeah.
They got all the fancy scopes and stuff in the showcase, and the 45s and the 9s. And it's like, what are you going to shoot? You know?
Exactly.
Klinger, that is not my Mario Brothers theme. We have no idea what you're talking about. I think it's in your head. No, I don't know. It's not mine.
It's me. It's my when I get a notification on my phone, it's the Mario. Do 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 do.
Wow. Somebody put Desert Eagle 10 millimeter. When I point it, everyone grabs TP. Wood knots.
I bet. I
A
saw some 10 mil
slingshot
ammo.
is super deadly and the ammo is cheap. I mean, if you're squirrel hunting, Frank, yeah, you can get squirrel with it. But I mean, it's just the fact that they put it back there where the ammo is supposed to be.
Yeah, just to mess with us.
Somebody said the 22 long rifle is underrated. I would agree with that.
I agree. We have 322s.
Mama 97 says, you're right. Native is a neat guy. You ever been called a neat guy before?
No, but
No.
I appreciate it. I like being neat.
Once again, guys, be sure that you go and subscribe. It is Native and Devout Preppers. They're right here on YouTube. Takes you 2 seconds. And he would appreciate it.
I would very much appreciate it. Love all you guys. I love our community.
Let me see here. Do you do any kind of trapping or anything?
I do not, but recently, I had a video I put out. I think it was a month ago. One of my prepping mentors, he's a guy that lives up in Pinnacle. He's in his 70s, old Vietnam vet, old salty guy, and he's been prepping for 40 years. You know, and he found out I was into it, and he said, and he just started sharing stuff with me, and the knowledge this guy has. But he turned me on to this thing where you take, the big rat traps, and you attach them to a tree limb, and put peanut butter on them, and you set them, and you catch squirrels. And I was like, what? So that's what me and Devout are trying to. We've been failing for the past month. We hadn't really been putting much into it, but I'm trying to get into trapping. I mean, I hunt, I fish. Trapping's something that we just never did in our family, but it's a skill I want to learn. I mean, I want to be as skilled as I can. You never know, in a SHTF, you want to be able to set a trap, walk away. It catches the food for you, and while you're doing something else, you're making repairs, you're in the garden, you're taking care of the animals, whatever, or you're on security, and then you go back and you check your traps, and there's food there. I mean, that's a great skill, and that's why we're trying to learn it. I mean, at least in an infancy stage.
So here's a hypothetical, man. Okay, let's say SHTF's here. You got Chinese parachuting out of the sky, and the Chinese parachutes don't fail, which they probably would, if they're made in China. But they're hitting the ground, boots are on the ground, and you have to bug out. What's your preferred method of water, like purifying water?
Oh, I have a Sawyer Mini, and I mean that's what I use. I also have some iodine tablets, stuff like that. I mean, we practiced boiling water before. Um, we had some water, it was old water, it was in a bucket, and we boiled it just to see if we could purify it and drank it. And it didn't taste good, but we didn't get sick. So I mean, stuff like that. I mean, there's some bush skills that we're trying to learn, like because I mean, the plan for our mag, I mean, the homestead here is the bug out location. So if we have to bug out, we're gonna be in trouble. But we'll do it. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You have to plan for every scenario.
Japheth, his channel is called Native and Devout Preppers, right here on YouTube. He was asking where your channel was at. So, guys, if you have any more questions, put them in all caps. We got about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm going to give this guy a chance to shout out his favorite channels. Give some love to some of your friends out there.
I don't have any friends in this community. I'm just kidding. Guys, go check out Northern Girl
friends,
Hobbies.
man. Not even that.
No, I love our community. Yeah, but check out Northern Girl Hobbies. She has a cool channel, man. She lives up north in Canada. She's one of our Canadian sisters, and she's a part of this community. She shows so much love. But her channel, I keep telling her, I was like, your channel is gonna blow up one day when people realize what you got going on. She like her production value is amazing on what she does. I watch some of her videos. It's like watching a show on Discovery Channel or something, you know, and I just love it. I mean, and of course, you know, we all know Prepper Tribe. I love that guy. Um, can't shout him out enough. Uh, Mad Shad. Mad Shad has a good channel. He's another South Carolinian. Guys, go check out Mad Shad, man. He's one of those guys who has a lot of like wisdom. You know, he's experienced a lot. He's been all over. The guy speaks Viking. He was speaking Viking on a live the other night. Like freaked my wife out, and I told Mad Shad I'm gonna have to learn some Viking because I think she was kind of turned on by it. So go check out Mad
Kind
Shad.
of turned on by it.
Yeah,
Till she found out you were going to leave her behind when you bugged out.
yeah, I know. I'm gonna start speaking Viking to make up for it.
I'm going to.
I love you, Steve. Go check out Lake Ferry. Lake Ferry has a good channel. I'm sure you guys know all these folks. Hutch Homestead, I don't need to shout him out. He's big time now. He's been on with the King Gremlin. But Arkansas Living, you guys know Art. He has a cool channel. Mame's Legacy. Let me shout out Mames. She's one of our nation members. She's in the premiere every morning. We did a live, me and Lady Rowan was my wife, and we were doing knitting and sewing, crocheting, and we threw out a question: Can you knit with paracord? Because every prepper has paracord, and you know, and it's like one of the strongest, you know, tensile strength that you can get out there. And so, what did Mames do? She went and she did a video knitting and crocheting with freaking paracord just to show us all, yes, you can do it. So she has a cool channel. She does a lot of stuff where it's like the old ways. I watched one of her videos and I was just enthralled. She had a spinning wheel going, you know, like she spins her own yarn and stuff. I was like, that's something that we want to learn here. We want to get sheep and learn how to spin our own yarn. So yeah, go check out Maine's Legacy, please. And there's so many other channels, guys. With this community, and when someone goes live, man, go check them out and see who's in there and chat and find new channels. Just cause a channel's small doesn't mean it's not good. There's another one I want. Airborne Prepper has a good channel. He was a medic, and he has a lot of that medical knowledge that you need, you know, like in a bug out situation or SHTF when you just can't call 911. So check out Airborne. Who else? Am I missing someone, babe?
Oh, now it's baby. You guys hearing this?
Oh god.
Baby.
Yeah, y'all got me in trouble.
Yeah, I had no idea she was that, you know, that close to you or something.
I was gonna have her just say hey in the beginning, but she didn't want to. She's had a long day. Who else? Oh, prep. That's what We the People Prepping. I like his channel. How he has his talks and thoughts and ideas. He's another one of those dudes like Mad Chad who has just experienced a lot. You could tell when folks, you know, they've had a lot of experience doing different things. So yeah, definitely check out him. I'm sure you guys know these channels. I'm sure you've seen them, you know, in the chats and whatnot. Yeah, man. Cherokee Survival, Mr. James Klontz, check him out.
So the fantastic moderators in here floated your link around a few times. Do you have like a PayPal or something where people can donate over there, or you have any links where they can support you? You selling any t-shirts or anything, man?
We're setting up. We got a Teespring yesterday. It's not set up yet. My wife makes t-shirts. She likes to. Are you guys familiar with the Warrior 12 t-shirts?
Yeah.
They make these really cool graphics and saying they're real patriotic. And that's the same types of stuff that we want to do. You know, we want to make shirts. Like I always say, we got to go after the culture, man. We can't be afraid to be who we are. And I think that's what's cool about our YouTube community. We're going after the culture. We're showing that patriotism, liberty, and the Constitution are good things, and that America is a great place. But yeah, I don't have a PayPal that's set up for the channel, not yet. Right now, it's just we have a PayPal, but it's not for the channel, so we're going to set that up. If you go to our channel in the About section, you know, my email's in there, and we have a PO box set up.
Gotcha. All right, so folks, thank you for being here, man. Thank you for being here as
Oh
well.
man,
I know I gave you short notice.
enjoyed it.
AJ, Prepping for Life is up next, and we are fixing to flash mob that dude. I'm going to be jumping over there in the chat. Going to be some trolling going on. If you folks are bored, please make that jump with us. All right, and
Let's go troll. Is it just me? Am I taking over the nation? What happened? Am I still live? This is it, man. The shutdown's coming. All right, guys. I guess we'll go over to AJ. I don't know if I'm live. It says I'm live. What's the chat saying? The chat saying it's just me?
yeah, man, sorry about that. Can you
I didn't
see
mean
me,
to take
man?
over, brother. Yeah, I didn't
No,
mean
man,
to take over.
it kicked me. I had to rejoin, man. I'm sorry about that.
No,